congregation. I say Shabbat Shalom once again to our listening audience via way of the internet. Once again, if you just tuned in to the House of Yehuda, I'm Minister Yoel Israel, one of the ministers here at the House of Yehuda, along with Minister Michael Ben Israel, and the head minister here at the House of Yehuda, Moray Zeki Israel. And if you just tuned in, you missed a dynamic lesson brought forth by Moray Zeki Israel. But you can always go back and visit all of our lessons, because all of our classes are recorded. So if you missed any of the previous recordings, including this Shabbat day, you can visit us by way of our website. And for the second portion of our class, we're going to have once again some praising of the Most High by the two young cubs of Yehuda. Three. Uriel, Yehuda, and my beloved brother Jalen. So come forward. Praise the mighty Yah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
But they are.
So we're going to call up one of the poets here at the House of Yehuda, and he was formerly known as Jeremy, known across the nation for his poetry. And we're blessed to have not only a teacher in the House of Yehuda, but he's a poet as well. And I'm honored to call up one of the servants of Yah to give us a poem. Moray, Minister Michael Ben Israel. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
This particular poem, I read it before that I'm doing, and I'm doing it because I made a promise to the Most High. It's called Water for Truth. Praise Yahweh. He carried me in his covenant, guided my steps with truth. The lawless are made to overstand doctrine. Sins is no longer a blind action. Hiding behind ignorance is no longer an option. I see clearly the lane sin has laid for me. It was written, I was smitten by the kiss of evil. She wore a red dress patterned after the New Testament. Caused me to submit to the Lamb, the scale that someone died for me. I was mentally dehydrated, which means I was spiritually thirsty. Now my cup runneth over with living waters. I bathed in understanding, moisturized my skin with wisdom, adorned myself with knowledge. I am blessed. The wool was pulled from my eyes. Now I see the sacrifice befitting for now. It's obedience. Now the waters of truth have been poured upon me. I have been baptized by Yahweh's mercy. Praise Yah. All right. And once again, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
To our sisters and our brothers, our elders, and also our internet audience. Thank you for joining us today to give praise and to worship Yah. For this is the day that He set aside. This was the only day that was ever given a name. The Sabbath day. The seventh day of the week. So for that we're grateful. Praise Yah.
Hallelujah.
And for those that are tuning in, if you have any issues at all, you can also go and see us on Ustream. And that's www.ustream.tv/channel/House of Yehuda -1. That is if however you're watching us now, however you're able to watch us now, if you're having any issues. And I'll repeat it, Yah willing, as I go through the lesson. I wanted to do something a little different. Let's stand and face the east. Please. I'm not going to read a proverb or a Psalms. And I'm not going to lead us into a group prayer. This moment, these few moments, is for you and I as individuals to pray to Yah and to glorify Him. So we'll have a moment where we'll glorify Yahweh. And this moment is time for you to personalize your glory and praise to Yah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Let's turn to the book of Psalms 10. You may be seated. I like to think. I love meditation. And I had a lot of things going on this week dealing with our people. Elder Moray Ezekiel taught a dynamic lesson on the reason why we're going through what we're going through. Because a lot of us are under the erroneous assumption that we're free. That we have been emancipated from this man's bondage. When Yahweh said to us that no man shall set us free, that wasn't just him flapping his gums. That is true. And my message is to Israel. It's to us. Let's read Psalms 10 together. Starting at verse number 1. We're in Psalms 10, starting at verse number 1. It says, "Why standest thou afar off, O Yah? Why hidest thyself in times of trouble? And this is why a lot of our people are groping, as we spoke on earlier, in darkness. This is why they're groping in the noonday, as a blind man gropeth in night. Because a lot of our people feel that Yahweh doesn't exist. That's why it was so easy for the brother to contact Moreh Yoel and tell him and glorify this and edify Egyptology. That's why we got brothers out here that's edifying this Egyptology. If I'm having problems with one God, why not try my hand at 7? That way, if I land on one, I hopefully get it right. And that's what we're doing. We're playing religious Russian roulette with our spirituality and our lives up for stake. That's what we're doing. But it says, why standest thou far off, O Yahweh? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? And I ask, and in that audience, and also I want to convey as well, if there are any questions that you have, please ask them. Please ask them. Regardless of if it's dealing with the subject matter or not. Verse 2 reads, the wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Verse 3. For the wicked boasts of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetousness whom Yahweh abhorreth. And that's what we do. We bless those and love those whom Yahweh abhors. As was stated earlier, there are organizations for animals. There are even organizations for homosexuals.
That's right. That's right.
Homosexuals. This man sets up precedents for confusion, but has no regard for wisdom. He hates the Most High. He hates Yahweh with a passion. And we do too. And some may say, well, Brother Michael, I go to class every week. I wear my fringes. I don't eat pork no more. How do I show that I hate the Most High? We're going to discuss it. Verse 4 reads, the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after Elohim. Elohim is not in all his thoughts. Just because I went downtown and changed my last name to Israel, or had it done, I did, doesn't mean that I can't still be counted with the wicked. Because if Yahweh is not in all my thoughts, then there's a problem with that. Because when Yahweh is in all our thoughts, he gives us peace. Right? I've heard comments made before of how here it's peaceful here. And I'm going to throw a question out to y'all. Why is it peaceful here? What makes it peaceful? And I'm asking, this isn't a rhetorical question. I'm asking, why is it peace here? Why? Yes, Sister Eve.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
It's peaceful here because the Most High is being exalted here. Not praises is not going up to JC or any other deity. You know, when the law is at the forefront and the Most High is being praised, that brings peace. But when you take away the law, then you take away the peace. Because you can't have, it can't be peace where there's no law, the Most High. Hallelujah.
Yes.
Well, Proverbs, the 3rd chapter, speaks about keeping of the commandments. For long life and length of days and peace shall they add unto thee. See, once you execute the law, in other words, carry it out, that what brings about the peace. In other words, for an example, if I have a problem with Sister Donna, I don't go to Brother Morey Mike. I don't go to nobody in here. I do what the law states. I go and I talk to Sister Donna. And when we execute the laws with each other, that brings about peace. But when you don't deal with issues and problems,
That's right.
that's when chaos and disturbance start arousing up. And when lies start being spread and talebearing start being spread. So the execution of carrying out Yah's word is why we have peace.
Praise Yahweh. So, on that particular reasoning of why is it so peaceful here, that goes to show what? Whether you at a Christian church, Muslim mosque, or a Hebrew Knesset. Well, there's no law. There's no peace. There's no peace. So then if we understand that a lot of us come in and say, well, there's nothing but peace here. I'm at peace when I'm here. Now, how many of us still have turmoil at home? Because if you got peace in one place, we should be able to transcend that same peace into our homes, right? Because I can't say, because we can't move in here. We can't bring our clothes in here, start changing the mailing address in here. That peace is something that is given to us when the law was being executed, when the law was being taught. I was listening to Moray Alicia last week, and he was going to talk about a subject dealing with him. And he said, no, I'm going to save it for after class, because this is Yahweh's day.
Right.
We ain't got time to be hearing about nothing that I'm going through if it's not to the edification of Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
And that's what we have to rehearse and practice, and that's what we have to bring out here. So see, verse 4 reads, the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after Elohim. Elohim is not in all his thoughts. Yahweh has to be in all of our thoughts. Now, some individuals may feel that I'm a very easy teacher to understand, because I don't have to use a bunch of big words and make a person feel like they're about this big. And it could be just the knowledge that Yahweh blessed me to have as a teacher being my profession. Yahweh gave me the skill to be able to explain a complex problem in simplified terms. And what Yahweh has done is he has showed us that his law was not complex. We make it complex. It's not that we can't keep it. It's just that we don't want to keep it. Be honest with yourselves. Stop trying to find ways on not serving Yah. A very wise young man called me this week, and we had a discussion about how can we prove the name of Yahweh, and how can we prove that he exists. And he wasn't asking me this question because he didn't believe. It was those that was around him. And the understanding that we have to come through is this. We don't have to prove Yah exists. We live the example. Let my walk show you I exist, that he exists. Let that be an example. Because there are many scholars that can give you bloodlines and give you how Yah's name came about and gave you this and gave you that and have substantial evidence to prove how Yahweh exists. But on the flip side, there are those that have substantial evidence to show that Yahweh does not exist. That's why as me and my brother got to talking, we came to the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yah and keep his commandments. That's what you got to worry. That's what we got to worry about. Because whether or not a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. So we'll be blue in the face talking about this is where Yahweh exists. This is because then it turns from being a praise to a battle of wits. You're not going to outwit me. And most of us that are in the book, when we get with individuals, we automatically write them off. That's why so many of us get ate up in so-called debates. We write them off. and we say, well, you a Christian, you don't know nothing about Torah. You a Muslim, you don't know nothing about Torah. You an Egyptologist, you don't know nothing about Torah. But that's why when it comes to law, you don't have to debate law. But you know what we debate? We debate precepts. We don't debate law. We debate man's precepts, I should say. We don't debate law. We debate man's precepts. And we base man's precepts off of our spirituality. This might be off the wall. But so what? I'm an off the wall individual. Why are we in with 3 hallelujahs when we get done praying? Huh? We go hallelujah, 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 praise Yah, that's it. Keep going. Hallelujah, throw one more in there. Why do we do that? Brother Michael, why do you do that? And to some that may say, man, that's small. No, it's not. We talk about we love Yahweh, we should give him as much praise as possible. I thought about the Christians. The Christians got praise for days. They will have an elder stand up in church and sing a verse for 20 minutes. Won't go to the next verse. God is my Lord. And people in churches, hallelujah, hallelujah. The man playing and the G chord. The G chord is so popular in church because it sparks something in the spirit. That's the chord that's played. That's the first chord that's hit. People start jumping. And that G chord comes. You start seeing them, get the spirit, start getting in them pockets. The preacher know when to play the music. Okay, now, if you notice in church, the music changes when it's time for the collection plate to come around. When praise comes, it's then as soon as the collection rate time, that's walking music. And people like, oh man, let me give everything. I don't know how I'm going to get home. I don't know how I'm going to buy dinner for my family. The only thing I got left now is my EBT card. They put the EBT card in there with the code. And that's what happens. But if Yahweh is not in all of our thoughts, that's how we fall victim to these things. Let's continue reading. Verse 5 reads, says, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puppeted them. I watched these cats. And I'm going to name them out. The AOC, the ISUPK, the IUIC, the FOPE, and the Lions of Israel. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed at all by your organizations. I'm not. And though you may think that he's just a minute individual, that's fine. But you still didn't impress me. There's wisdom that could have been understood. But all they do is yell, holler, disrespect individuals. Man, we in captivity, fools. Do we understand this? We're in captivity. We're not here for vacation.
That's right.
We out here calling white folks devils. That's why I'm glad you brought that out last week about devils. They're black devils too. They ain't just white devils, they're black devils.
Right.
And devils are things that we deify. And we deify this man. So I'm not impressed by your yelling and screaming and disrespectfulness. Verse 6 says, he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. And that's what a lot of these brothers, a lot of our mentality is. we become very arrogant. When we learn the word of the Most High, we become very arrogant. There was something that got back to me that I wish I hadn't heard, because it did something to my spirit this week. An individual had asked a family of why they're no longer part of the house of Yahuwah. I'm not naming no names. The verse that came back was, and I'm saying the verse that came back was the fact that they don't affiliate anymore with us. Well, that's fine. That's okay. Praise Yah anyway.
Hallelujah.
But anyone that feels that they need to walk away, understand your reasoning why. Because these seats can be easily filled.
That's right.
These seats can easily be, we are easily replaceable.
Yes, sir.
Me and a brother this week was talking about divine order. And we talked about how, you know, we might, I've even said it, like, yeah, let's get the elders together, let's get them together, let's work, because let's bring that one house together again. It's not gonna happen. You know why? Because it's not ordained by Yahweh yet to happen. See, we in captivity now. See, we still under different mindsets. See, if anyone has noticed that a lot of the Knesses that have went and started, the congregations are a lot smaller. I'm going to give you my reasoning why. The house of Israel was huge, right?
Yeah.
I shared this with Moray Yoel. It was huge, right?
Yeah.
It was a big enough space for you to hide behind your conscience, right? Right? It was a big space. If I didn't want to hear what this teacher said, I'm going to go up here to Brother Michael class and sit there with the kids. Or let me go down here to the bathroom and sit in the toilet for a minute. Now we got to get the doors unlocked. It ain't as easy. You got to leave the building. Smaller space, make you listen to your conscience. Make you understand. You wicked. Your thinking is wicked. Minister Michael, your thinking is not correct. It's not according to my guidelines. Smaller space, make sure you hear the teachers. No whispering. None of that going on. See, everything Yahweh did was divine order.
Hallelujah.
It ain't meant for us to go and try to clink hands. Not with our minds being the way that they are. It ain't meant for us to be a sovereign nation yet. You look like a fool showing your papers, I'm sovereign. Sovereign from what? What are you free from? You ain't got nothing established. What? You think you gonna go? This is what we do. We'll say, I'm gonna be a sovereign nation from the United States. I'm moving over here. Watch, you gonna get on their welfare system?
Right.
So you can become another man's burden? Another country's issue? Because what else is left? You ain't got no money. And then I look at these brothers that's on these street corners yelling and screaming, and some of y'all may disagree with me, that's okay. But I witnessed it. I have yet to see where they have anything set up for us other than screaming. And the spirit they bring, it's not a spirit of peace. It's a spirit of anger. When I look, guess who was involved in most of them was the police. And what's so deep is most of the black people, they ain't ready for that. They telling the people to move. And we screaming. And then on top of screaming, we getting ate up out here by these Egyptologists. And you know what I noticed? That when they get into base with the Egyptologists sometimes they stand and they listen. But then you got some that's just as boisterous as the next man. So it's just a bunch of people yelling. And in between, you might get a little wisdom here and there. But I have a question. Can you have truth with just a little bit of lie? Is that possible? Why isn't that possible? Exactly. Because if it's got a little bit of lie, then it's not true. Am I right? Now you can have a lie with a little bit of truth, but that's an oxymoron to say I told the truth with a lie.
Right.
No, that don't make no sense. How you tell the truth with a lie? You just lied.
Right.
But I can tell a lie with some truth. And that's what these brothers are doing. They're teaching lies with truth. They're feeding our people that Christ is God. They're saying that. They're saying he's black. And then they calling the people fools for calling Christ. That ain't his name. You taking on this. And this same white man you calling the devil, you propagating his God. This white man sit back like if we such devils. No, he ain't. I take that back. This is what he doing to all the organizations. He laughing. He like, look at the power I got on these Negroes. Even through consciousness, they still sleep. They still serve my God. They just wear dashikis and locks when they do it now. They wear fringes. They still hold on to my deity. I still got power over them. So go ahead, let them call you cracker, let them call you devil. Because their own people looking at them as though they're hypocrites. Even guys calling ourselves Egyptians. How could you believe this book? How can you believe? Number one, y'all would never told us to follow the Bible. That's all they could say. They never one time mentioned Torah though. They don't say Torah, they say the Bible. And I can understand the confusion. Because these brothers will go from the Old Testament, or they'll use the New Testament, and then they go to the Old Testament to try to justify the New Testament. So they're taking a lie to try to justify a truth that's just going to end up justifying a lie. It's a bunch of confusion. They calling people out and all this and putting their fingers in people's faces and hitting women. Hitting women. Verse 7 reads, his mouth is full of cursing, deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. That's what all these cats are doing, man. This is mischief and vanity. That's all it is, man. They just being a little mischievous because they don't know no better. They don't know no better. But through their ignorance, they're destroying many people, especially those that hold on to them. Verse 8 reads, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. Now check out this verse. I remember this particular songs when Elder Ezekiel used to do morning class, and he would sit down and we would discuss songs. And these verses came out. It says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privately set against the poor. Verse 9 reads, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. Now how does he draw him into his net? Verse 10, he crouches and humbleth himself. See, that's what a lot of our people do. That's why a lot of our people caught up in these different types of religions. Because when it comes to Christianity, right? When you go into a Christian church or a Christian facility, the people are always happy. They're always happy. They should be happy. You know why? Because they ain't never going to hell. According to their doctrine, they ain't going to hell. They got a place in heaven. No matter what you do, you got a place in heaven. And then you got the Muslims. The Muslims are always in good spirits because they don't have no doctrine. When they get together in the mosque, man, they're not reading from the Quran. Some of them go by final call. The same thing they sell you on the street for $2. They open it up and you know, Farrakhan this, we honoring a man. And guess what? Man's precepts are always gonna comfort man, right? Man's precepts are always going to be a comfort to a man.
Mhm.
Verse 11 says, He hath said in his heart, Elohim hath forgotten. He hideth his face. He will never see it. Arise, O Yahweh, O Elohim, lift up thy hand, forget not the humble. Wherefore doeth the wicked contemn Elohim? He hath said in his heart, Thou wilt not require it. Thou hast seen it, for thou beholdest mischief and spite, to requite it with thy hand. The poor committeth himself unto thee, thou art the helper of the